Tom Cruise is making a movie on the International Space Station, and he could be the first of many. But how exactly do you shoot a movie in space? Well, thankfully, I found a guy who's already done it.
Is Tom Cruise making a movie going to inspire the next Elon Musk?
If you're like me, then you've watched every film set in space. Apollo 13, Armageddon, Planet of the Apes. It was Earth all along. Damn you all to hell. Hollywood gets a lot of wiggle room in sci-fi. They can set off explosions without actually killing anyone. They can cut Sandra Bullock loose in a spacewalk and not get a strongly worded letter from her agent. But shooting a movie in real space is way harder. Just ask Richard Garriott. He's the son of Owen Garriott, a NASA astronaut, and he's also the 6th private citizen to pay to go into space. He also shot a movie while he was there. He shot the whole thing on a Sony HD V7 camera over 3 nights on the ISS, edited it on his laptop, and then premiered it to the crew while he was on the space station.
If you think of it a movie, the pre-production is really critical. You plan out every shot so that once you have a large, expensive crew on site, you can be as efficient as possible in recording it. Well, in space, that's going to be far worse, because not only is every moment of the crew far more expensive, but also every shot is far harder to get.
Firstly, there's the logistics of getting into space. You have to train your actors. And no, I'm not talking about 4 years at Juilliard. Yes, Dad, I know a Renaissance theatre degree wasn't the best use of my time. Before Garriott flew on the Soyuz in 2008, he went through 2 years of training. He was responsible for the life support and power systems. Remember, there's only 3 seats on the Soyuz, so he couldn't afford to just be a passenger. He actually had to do work while he was up there. The next generation of space tourists flying on Crew Dragon and beyond will have it a lot easier. But still, you're not going to get to space anytime soon without a bit of training under your belt. Okay, so say you can get your crew and your actors into space. Well, that's only the start. You've got another problem: microgravity. It's hard enough setting up a shot here on Earth, but when you escape the Earth's pull, things get really messy. And we should know, we've been doing this for a while. Directors have been recreating microgravity for years on the Zero-G aircraft, also known as the Vomit Comet. This aircraft flies in parabolic arcs and it creates moments of microgravity, but only about 20 to 30 seconds at a stretch. Ron Howard famously shot scenes from Apollo 13 on the Vomit Comet, and you might also recognize it from the film clip for OK Go's Upside Down and Inside Out. It's a cracker of a film clip, but over the course of the whole shoot, cast and crew vomited like 58 times. Cool, seems normal. When you're experiencing this kind of weightlessness for weeks on end, that's a whole new beast. Garriott said that for about the first 3 days in space, he felt like he was on a 24-hour roller coaster, which is not at all terrifying and something I definitely want to do in life. And then there's getting around the space station. If you think it's hard enough for an actor to hit their mark here on Earth, then imagine doing it in a 3-dimensional fishbowl. Moving around flawlessly? Yeah, forget it.
On the space station, if you try to leave the floor by pushing with your toes to get something on another surface, you will push so hard on accident that you will smack your head really hard on the far side. So you quickly learn to only move very delicately with your fingertips. Everything on the space station is held to the wall generally with a little piece of Velcro, and your legs are likely to be still bumping into things behind you. You are dislodging screwdrivers, film canisters, lens caps, and by the time you get to the other end, you look around and there's a cloud of debris. The real stuff in space is not action hero fast. It is slow and deliberate.
According to Garriott, the next generation of space movies that are actually shot in space aren't going to look like Armageddon or Gravity. They're going to look a lot more like 2001: A Space Odyssey. Less explosions and panic-inducing, and more slow and measured. Directors are going to have to totally rethink how they script and shoot in space. No more beautiful wide shots. The ISS is really crowded. No more fast-paced fistfights, or no more running from the bad guy. No more driving your bus across a bridge because you have to keep the speed above 50 miles an hour. Sacrifices. But it's also going to mean that directors can start doing really interesting things with filmmaking. And finally, there's the cost. When Garriott flew on the Soyuz to make his short film, his ticket cost $30 million. But that cost is coming down, and experts say it could get as little as $1 million a ticket. As space travel becomes more affordable, then we are probably going to see more films shot off this planet. But still, at $1 million a pop, it may not be worth the hassles. Cramped conditions, a camera that won't stay still, and remember, your co-stars are astronauts. They're really good at exploring new reaches of the universe, but not known for their acting.
You're upside down.
No, you're upside down.
Maybe it's aliens, interstellar aliens trying to invade the space station as a prelude to invading Earth.
Or maybe one of us is the alien.
At the end of the day, it may just be easier to grab a bunch of actors, plonk them down in front of a green screen, and do what I do anytime I make a mistake. Just fix it in post. Alright guys, what do you think? Would you go and watch Mission Space Possible, or do you think this whole thing is just a complete waste of money and time? Let me know in the comments below, and while you're there, like and subscribe. I got all the space content you need. Yeah, I work hard for you. Just while we are here, I was thinking maybe like a splash here of like space background, and then maybe like the ISS is flying past behind me, then we star wipe, and then I'm doing a spacewalk outside.